There was a time during the 1980s when the payphone booth was on almost every street corner. It was a time when a quarter in your pocket was the difference between getting a ride home or a 5-mile walk back to the house. It was also a time when you could talk to your high school sweetheart privately without the attention of your CIA wannabe siblings giggling stupidly or your dad telling you to get off the damn phone. Sadly, the era of the payphone has gone away like the rest of the 1980s tech landmarks. But, unlike the more glamorous tech pals from that era, like the Sony Walkman, the Atari game console, or the VCR, the payphone never got a farewell party. There was no media news like the end of blockbuster movie rentals, nor will you find it celebrated like a YouTuber finding an old game arcade still alive in a dead coal town in West Virginia. Perhaps it's time we give our old friend, the payphone, a proper goodbye. So let's dig into those old denim jean pockets and get out that grimy 1973 quarter. It's time to dial up some payphone memories. Even today, the first thing I want to do when I see a flatlined, disabled payphone lying dead behind the bushes near a city trash heap is to stick my hand in the coin slot expecting to find a bunch of quarters, dimes, or nickels. I can recall a few reasons for this, but as a child of the 1980s, my primary reason was due to running out of quarters at the game arcade. Picture this. It's 1981, late summer on a Saturday afternoon. You're a 10-year-old kid playing Space Invaders. You're on a roll. Your fellow space cadets are in awe as you deftly maneuver that joystick around, wielding death and destruction to those little green Martians falling upright from the green sky. Suddenly, your mission is game over. Yes, congratulations, you are a martyr that saved the planet. You are consoled by seeing your initials etched in that game vehicle log. Hopefully, forever, but in reality, until next week Saturday with your top score being beaten by some IBM office worker named SBM or CWJ. After a quick break to the vending supply station to grab the elixir of life known as mug root beer, you're now ready to save the planet once again. But alas, in your haste to refuel, you miscalculated the funds needed to run the game vehicle. Frantic, you pull out every last item in your Scooby-Doo space bag. There are no funds left. Your game vehicle remains out of fuel. Desperate to save the planet, you look out the arcade window, trying to think of a solution. There, standing guard outside, is heaven's answer. The payphone. You gleefully run out there. You know it's a long shot. You watch nervously as your fingers push aside the little metal coin return flap. Your little fingers poke around like a giant squid with 60-foot tentacles stabbing Captain Ahab in the face. Yes, you found something. Your little fingers latch on and drag out a treasure of forgotten coins. You are ecstatic. You are ready to play another round. You hurry back into the arcade and lay your treasure haul on the table. Then, your face melts into disappointment. You have just hauled in 2 Canadian quarters, a Coke bottle cap, and a Subway token. Unfortunately for you, your game vehicle only runs on Uncle Sam coinage. You pack up your space bag, toss "Oh Canada" into the trash, and head home. That was a payphone memory. A few years have gone by. You are now a high school kid in mid-1980. You have just reached the height of puberty, and your hormones have discovered that girls are not just boys with long hair. You've also discovered that being in love for the first time came with privacy conditions. Parents must not know about it, and siblings must never find out. To keep your overbearing CIA family from discovering that you have hormones, you and your clandestine female classmate agree to talk via payphone around midnight when her family has, hopefully, retired for the evening. You wait anxiously until the midnight hour has arrived. You tiptoe out of bed, making sure to leave your older brother fast asleep, clutching his magazine of ill repute. You get dressed in the dark like a James Bond villain. You then crawl, Ninja Turtle-like, down the carpeted stairs. Buddy, the golden retriever, wakes up and waddles towards you. Sensing your pleading eyes and frantic get-lost fingers, Buddy quietly escorts you towards the door, convinced you have lost your damn mind. Once outside, you make a beeline to the payphone, a block east of Maple. You gingerly place a quarter in the coin slot, then start punching in the entry code to her heart. You wait with trembling excitement to hear her warm laughter. Finally, she picks up the phone. Hello, who is this? It's her mother. Thinking quickly on your toes, you have several options to put those toes in your mouth. 1. Quickly hang up. 2. Speak in a foreign accent. 3. Ask for a Mrs. Julia Roberts. Then say you dialed the wrong number. Or 4. Make a lie that your girl is your study partner and you need to ask her about a school assignment. Your impatient hormones unwisely chooses option number 4. Hello, Mrs. Spencer. It's me, Daniel Jensen. Listen, I need to ask Susan about our homework assignment. Would it be okay to speak to her for a bit? Her mother is gracious enough to agree to term, but her tone of voice also makes it clear that this type of phone call will be the last of its kind. Sure, Daniel. I'll wake Susan up, even though it's late at night and not a suitable time to call someone. I do understand it's for your schoolwork, so I'll set aside the idea that you had hours before this to call her at a proper time. Your mind quickly ignores the descant advice, for the moment of truth has arrived. The sound of her angelic voice raises your fluttery heart to new heights. You are having the time of your life. Half an hour later, you have marshaled up all your courage. It's time to confess your love. So, with reckless abandon, you give it to her not so straight. Susie, you know there's this other girl who sorta likes me, so I wanted to tell you. But before you could finish the other part of your ill-fated, beat-around-the-bush statement, wanted to tell you I only want to be with you. To your utter horror, a voice of steely death suddenly interrupts your cheesy conversation. The metallic voice, void of any sympathy, blares loudly in your ear. To increase speaking time, please insert coins in a coin slot. Otherwise, this phone call will be terminated. You fumble into your pocket calm and relaxed, knowing your stack of quarters are ready to be deployed against the infidel intruder. The voice of Siri's ancestor drones on. Please insert coins to extend speaking time. You bring up the coins and stare in disbelief. What you had deposited into your jeans as backup quarters 5 hours ago are now staring at you as a pile of worthless Connect 4 plastic game chips. Your cursed older brother has replaced the quarters with a pile of stinking blue and red chips. You could hear the blood draining from your very soul as the phone goes silent. The next day, she never spoke to you again. That was a payphone memory. Fast forward to late 1980. The situation has greatly changed. You now have your first job selling Zenith TV sets at JCPenney's. What was also around was, again, the faithful payphone located right outside every dive bar from Westlake, Texas to Happyville, Vermont. You remember those bar nights, right? Of course you do. You were there every football Sunday to watch the game with the boys late at night. Sadly, nowadays, your boys spend more time getting hip replacements than getting a few beers to watch the hometown team. At any rate, the game is over. Jets have been pummeled 34-0 by those damn Houston Oilers. I mean, how the hell do you lose to a damn oil rig? You sit there in that cramped dive bar, staring at the faded TV screen above the bartender's shiny bowling ball head. There are more squiggly lines on that old TV set than you late at night, trying to peek through the Playboy channel in the living room with the lights off at 2 a.m. Your boys have all drifted out of the bar, lying stupidly on the sidewalk. You are determined not to be them on tomorrow's local news laugh. You stumble awkwardly to the payphone box. Once in there, you drag out the 20,000 yellow pages that hadn't been replaced since 1975. You start looking for a cab phone number while your fingers have muscle memory instructions to insert coin and dial the usual cab company. From there, you begin to lose consciousness. 15 minutes later, some guy named Earl, who seems to know you well, gently escorts you out of the payphone and into a strange car with a yellow sign mounted on top of it. You are then driven silently to a dark-lit house. There, you remember seeing a very familiar-looking angry woman. She is yelling at you while paying Mr. Earl to drag you to a prison room across the hall from the kitchen. The next morning, you feel a sudden headache. It's actually your wife slapping you across the back of the head to wake up, but your ego tells you that is impossible. After a splash of bitter black coffee down your inebriated lungs, your memories of the night before come into focus. You laugh as you see news photos of your boys being woken up by the police. Now that was a payphone memory. So, with that in mind, it's time to say farewell to our payphone friends and guardians. Thank you for being out there in the rain, the cold, the sunny skies, and the occasional rainbow. Thank you for giving us a fond safety net to call our parents, friends, and sweethearts. We will miss you, dear friends, and soon our Generation X memories will also be equally disconnected. Thanks for all the payphone memories, and if you would like to deposit more memories, I'm afraid our time has run out. The payphone you have reached is sadly no longer in service.